blood vessels play in the development of dementia?
Okay. Well, in the development of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, the brain cells, the neurons, get sick and they die. So the $64,000 question that everybody's trying to figure out is why that happens. And first of all, I think there are multiple reasons why we get to that place in time. Our perspective has been that at least in some forms of Alzheimer's disease, and again, we talk about Alzheimer's disease as if it's a single disease, but really it's probably a group of diseases that in the end has a common, this common nerve cell death and dementia, but many different etiologies or ways to get there. So we think at least one of those ways is that the brain blood vessels become sick and dysfunctional.
Right.
Because ultimately it's the job of the brain blood vessel to create the environment in which the nerve cell sits. The brain blood vessels are highly specialized because, as you can imagine, the brain, in order for it to function properly, has to have a very controlled environment. So, for instance, every time you would get up or you'd eat something, what happens below the neck in your bloodstream changes. You exercise, you eat. Your brain can't be exposed to all these different fluctuating, parameters. So it's the job of the brain blood vessel to maintain a nice, steady, homeostatic condition in the brain. And part of the way that the blood vessels do that is the way they're structured. But also part of it is their metabolism, the things that they make and how they control the environment that the nerve cells sit. So we've said that in Alzheimer's disease, since we know that the nerve cells get sick and die, we think at least in some forms of AD that happens because the blood vessels, instead of creating a supportive, nurturing environment for the nerve cells, create this noxious, toxic environment. And why might that be? Because we think the blood vessels are a target for some of the risk factors that are associated with Alzheimer's, like midlife hypertension or high blood pressure. High blood pressure has a very negative effect on blood vessels. Midlife, high cholesterol. Again, both of these have been correlated with the development of late life dementias. So we think, again, cholesterol injures the blood vessels. Other injuries of the blood vessels, we think, create this change in how they function. And now they, instead of being, as I said, a positive nurturing influence for the nerve cells, create this noxious environment.
In certain situations in your body, you get in some parts of your skin or body or whatever, where you've been using a lot of muscles in your arms and such like, you get a tingly feeling, which you feel like you want to scratch it. And, and when you do that, I've been told that there's blood circulating more in that part because your skin gets red, etc.
Right.
So on that point, I wonder what your thoughts are if in some of these chairs you get vibrating chairs, arthritis and things like that. And with that vibration, I wonder, would that stir up blood through your system and through your head, which would help? I mean, this seems to be a thing to keep the blood circulating.
Right.
Well, would that help the circulation as well in your body?
Probably not to your brain. Again, the brain circulation is really pretty tightly controlled in the sense that if you do something to your arm and you have inflammation, as you said, and you have tingling and what, that's not going to happen in your brain. So if you are in some, like you said, one of these chairs where you have some kind of peripheral stimulation of your skin or your leg, the likelihood is that that doesn't have an impact on what goes on in your brain. But you make an important point, because the issue of blood flow, people are interested in blood flow and maintaining good blood flow in the brain. We think that changes in blood flow in the brain contribute to dementia later on, whether if you have for instance, if you've had a stroke and you've had some diminishment in blood flowing in parts of your brain, you have a higher likelihood to develop dementia later on because of that. So certainly the issue of blood flow is important, but what you're describing with that kind of manipulation wouldn't probably have a direct effect.